Is this a drill or something?
I think it is time we inform the Senate that our ability to use the Force is diminished.
Just how did Senator Palpatine cloud the Jedi's vision? Not just one or two Jedi, but the collective Jedi as a whole were thrown in the dark by the machinations of a lone Sith Lord, and to a lesser extent, his apprentices. We know that the Jedi's ability to use the Force was affected at the height of the Clone Wars, but what brought about their inability to sense the trap set by the Sith before it was too late?
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
From Senator to Emperor, Sheev Palpatine's move towards dominance was slow, calculated, and more impressive than almost any other Sith Lord before him. Overthrowing the Galactic Republic by tearing it apart from the inside was only the first of many steps along the way to Palpatine's ultimate reign, but these were history-making moves that had been polished from the failures of his predecessors. Above all of his accomplishments, the only one that perhaps was his greatest victory for the dark side was the downfall of the Jedi Order, which was not an easy feat, though he made it look like one. Darth Sidious took his time to get inside of the Order, take advantages of 1,000-year-old mistakes, and even challenge their morals to a point that left the Council in constant states of disagreement. So how did he do it? What did he do that was different and more impactful than any Sith Lord before him? The Sith Shrine. First and most importantly, Palpatine probably had to do only a little bit of research to find out that the Jedi Order built their temple upon the grounds of an ancient Sith shrine on Coruscant. While they reduced almost all of the shrine to the foundations, the area was strong with the Force, and a portion of the mountain that the temple was built on was missed. That active area of dark side energy still moving through the foundation of the temple began to cloud the vision of even Jedi Masters as time went on. Now, as the Clone Wars raged on, the former Sith Shrine and then Jedi Temple became a focus for the public to demonstrate their distaste for the war. Along with protests staged outside of the temple, favor for the Order within the halls of the temple also began to wane. It got so bad that a young Jedi named Barriss Offee bombed the temple in response to her belief that the Jedi of the Clone Wars only cared about violence. Palpatine, who had gone above and beyond to learn Sith lore and history, knew well of this place even when the Jedi didn't. Palpatine's decision to build the Imperial Palace in the place of the Jedi Temple wasn't just a show of dominance, which is kind of awesome, but his long calculated method of letting the Jedi tear themselves apart from the inside worked out extremely well for him, especially after they militarized in response to Palpatine's game of self-indulgent chess between the Republic and the upcoming Empire. The Republic versus the Separatists. While outwardly standing on the side of good, Chancellor Palpatine pulled all of Count Dooku's strings behind the scenes of the Separatists, also known as the State of the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Now, Palpatine basically roleplayed the entire Clone Wars with himself, using Anakin, Dooku, and the Council as his greatest pawns. He advised Dooku of Darth Sidious while simultaneously grooming Anakin for apprenticeship as Palpatine. But well beyond that, the good Chancellor was even using Padme Amidala and Jar Jar Binks as means to further his ambitions. Countless Senate debates are premeditated by Palpatine himself, and even on a greater scale, he set fully fledged battles between the Jedi, their clone troops, and hundreds of battle droids into motion. And it's incredible to think just how much micromanaging Palpatine did, and how outrageously good he was at it. Over the course of the Clone Wars alone, Palpatine influenced several different events in Anakin Skywalker's life that would set him on Darth Sidious's intended course towards becoming Darth Vader. Palpatine did everything he could to cause animosity between political colleagues and worked with the scum of the galaxy early on to terrorize people throughout the galaxy on his quest towards power. The urgency of the Clone Wars sent the Jedi into action, and with all their clouded judgment, none of them, not even Yoda, could have the foresight to see through the haze and identify that Palpatine was the one gaming them the entire time.
I hear a new apprentice you have, Emperor. Or should I call you Darth Sidious?
Now, thank goodness for those among the Senate who weren't Force sensitive. Palpatine's rise to power quickly conflicted with their peaceful and diplomatic interests of people like Senator Amidala and Mon Mothma. So, together with their colleagues, including Bail Organa, they got together to form the earliest parts of the Rebel Alliance, just as the Death Star began construction. Propaganda. While the Empire capitalized on its widespread propaganda to keep the galaxy in line and, for the most part, in support of the Emperor, Palpatine's earliest forms of propaganda were simple word-of-mouth rumors. Using Dooku as a mouthpiece, Palpatine helped build dislike against the Jedi for their participation in the war, which he forced them into, and their general practices. There was a long-held view that the Jedi's method of inducting young Force sensitives was kidnapping, and Dooku took that a step further by criticizing things like Jedi's use of clones, which he referred to as slaves that they were bred for war. With those previous mentioned protests and Barra Sophie's attack still in mind, it's pretty easy to see why this kind of talk worked. The Jedi found themselves dealing with immediate conflict throughout the galaxy because they were seen by the citizens of the Republic who didn't often interact with them. This includes Saw Gerrera and rebels of Onderon, Cham Syndulla, Twi'lek warriors on Ryloth, and even skeptics in Mos Eisley who were hardly connected to the core world news as it stood. Anakin Skywalker. Of course, the crowning achievement, the cherry on top, was when Palpatine came to power and he had Anakin Skywalker's turn to the dark side come to fruition, which Darth Sidious creepily spent most of all of Anakin's life working on. Whether in the form of a small comment, a little nudge to the dark side here and there, or an evening conversation at the Opera House, Palpatine planted ideas in Skywalker's head and played upon the young Jedi's open, honest emotions early on. Anakin's ultimate betrayal of the Jedi and transformation into Darth Vader didn't just give Palpatine a powerful enforcer at his side, it also punched a hole clear through the Jedi's beliefs that the Chosen One, aka Skywalker, would bring peace and balance to the galaxy. Well, at least the form of balance that the Republic-era Jedi Order thought he could. Palpatine invested time and patience into Skywalker, learning about everyone important to him and becoming one of the few people who openly knew about Skywalker's secret marriage to Padme Amidala. It really is a miracle that Luke and Leia managed to steer clear of Palpatine for so long. The guy basically stalked Anakin until he could steal the poor guy all for himself. Beyond all of this, Palpatine just outright knew what he was doing. Trained by Darth Plagueis himself, Palpatine spent years doing more than just jumping around and cackling evilly. He spent countless years training and learning about the history of the Force in its entirety so that he could eventually overthrow his master and do what every Sith Lord wanted to do by taking over the galaxy and possessing the ultimate power. Palpatine studied and visited a large number of important places concerning the Force, and after all, the guy had to know how to find and destroy all of those Jedi temples somehow, and also saw the Force in its entirety, which helped him take down the Jedi even more. So what do you think made Palpatine's rise to power so impressive? Do you think Snoke has a different motive than Darth Sidious with total control and Darkseid as the dominant? Let me know in the comments below. But the beauty of this video is it's just the start of the discussion. Our love for Star Wars surrounds and it binds us together. So let me know, do you think Snoke differs from Palpatine, and how crazy a Jedi to build their temple on a freaking Sith shrine? If you love Star Wars, I want to talk to you about it. It's as simple as that, my friends. If you want to stay up to date with the latest Star Wars videos on origins, games, and theories, don't forget to use those Force powers of yours and hit subscribe. And hey, leave a comment below about what you want to see in future videos. It may just get covered. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you. Always.